from Christine's Pastries and Cakes. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to make a traditional Greek spinach pie, aka Spanakopita, and we'll be making the Phyllo pastry from scratch. However, if you feel uncomfortable making the pastry from scratch, please feel free to buy any store-bought pastry that you like. The ingredients for the Phyllo pastry are 400 grams of bread flour, a teaspoon of Malden sea salt, 30 ml of extra virgin olive oil, and 200 ml of lukewarm water. Right, let's get started. First we're going to add our flour, salt, olive oil, and 200 ml of water. Then we're going to mix all the ingredients until they come together in a ball. Once your dough has come together, you will increase the speed of your machine to medium speed and allow to beat for another 10 to 15 minutes to develop the gluten. If you find your dough is a little dry, you can always add a little bit of extra water. I normally add about 15 ml at a time, not more than that. Then turn your mixer back on again on medium speed. Right, your dough's been mixing for the last 15 minutes. See, it's nice and smooth and supple. I've greased a bowl, a clean bowl with olive oil. Place it in a bowl with some cling film on it and allow it to rest for 2 hours. Right guys, our pastry has been done. It's relaxing. Now we're going to do the filling for the Spanakopita. So our ingredients for that are a kilo of Swiss chard, 400 grams of feta cheese, 20 grams each of mint and dill chopped, 100 grams of spring onions, 1 large onion chopped, 2 eggs, and half a cup of olive oil. Right guys, we'll start with our spinach first. We need to squeeze out all the excess fluid. Chop the spinach into bite-sized pieces. We're looking for something like this. Add oil to your saucepan. Allow it to heat. Add onions. Spring onions, dill and mint. Fry on a low heat until the onions and the herbs have sweated down. Right, our onions and herbs have sweated down nicely. Now we're going to add the chopped up spinach. Stir that through. Until all the herbs with the onion have been mixed through the spinach. At this point we're going to add a little bit of pepper for seasoning, but please do not put any salt as the cheese is very salty and you don't need any extra salt to go with that. Allow for a little bit more olive oil. Stir and allow to cook for an additional 5 to 7 minutes so that everything can just meld in together and the flavors can just disperse nicely. So our spinach is now ready and I'm going to allow it to cool down before I add my cheese and my eggs. Right, our spinach mixture has now cooled down sufficiently, so we're going to start off by beating the 2 eggs just lightly and adding them to our spinach mixture. and then the feta cheese. Please guys, remember, please don't add any salt. The feta cheese is salty enough. Stir it through. Okay, as you can see, my feta cheese has not melted because I've allowed it to cool down sufficiently enough. Next, we're going to work on the Phyllo pastry. Right guys, our pastry has been sitting for 2 hours. It is nice and soft and elastic. What we're going to need to do now is we're going to have to divide it into 8 equal pieces. So I'm going to start off by cutting it in half. I'm then going to roll it out. Sort of stretching, rolling and pulling. I've now got 4 pieces there. I'm going to do the same with the next one. What I'm going to now do is place them under a bowl so that they don't dry out. I'm then going to grease a big baking tray. This tray is about 24-25 centimeters in width and about 37 centimeters long. So if you can try and get something similar, that would be fantastic. Now grease it nicely with the leftover olive oil that we had. Remember the extra third cup that we had measured out? We're going to use that for each layer. Right, now we take out our first piece. Got a little bit of corn flour here. And we are literally going to start rolling into a thin sausage. Then I'm going to use a rolling pin. Use cornstarch so it doesn't stick. And I'm going to start rolling longwise. Right, so we continue to roll until we get a nice long piece, pretty much almost the size of your dish. We pretty much have the right length. So now we're going to start to stretch it a little bit, just using our hands. And rolling pin at the same time. What we're trying to achieve is we're trying to get another piece here. As you can see, I've already done the first piece. We're just trying to get another piece that goes on this side. Right? This piece is about the right size, as you can see. So we just lay that down. Let it come up the sides just a little bit. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put more olive oil. Okay, repeat this process until you have 4 layers of Phyllo pastry on the bottom. I'm just going to get this done and then I'll get back. After you've completed your bottom 4 layers and rolled it out as thinly as you possibly can, it's quite difficult, but if you're just a little bit patient, you can get it right. You're then going to put your cooled down mixture into your baking dish. Spread it out evenly. Repeat the process and do the last 2 layers, 4 strips, remembering to brush with olive oil in between. Almost done. Not that much longer to go. Then we're going to have ourselves a lovely, delicious Spanakopita. Okay, right, we're pretty much done now. Just trimming the edges a little bit here so I can get rid of this excess pastry. which is unnecessary. Right, then brush again with olive oil. If you need a little bit more olive oil, please feel free to use. Spanakopita is really delicious with extra virgin olive oil. In the meantime, I have preheated my oven to 175 degrees. You want a slower cook rather than a quicker cook because you don't want the spanakopita to burn on the outside and for the pastry layers to be raw on the inside. So rather cook it for longer on a lower heat rather than for shorter on a higher heat. I'm then going to sprinkle some sesame seeds, but this is optional. You don't have to do that if you don't like sesame seeds. And then I'll pop it into my oven and bake it for about an hour and a half. It should come out golden brown. Right guys, spanakopita has been cooked. I cooked it for about an hour and a half on 170. You can see the pastry is nice and golden. It's been cooked through. Hope you enjoy. Please like and subscribe and give us a thumbs up.